It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Have you ever heard that, Bestie? Well, let me tell you something. It's more than a saying, it is a way of life, especially as a real estate agent. And I cannot tell you how many times I've messed up with clients and how many times I've heard other agents just messing up because you knew exactly what to say, but maybe it was said in a way that just did not land right and the communication was off. And because of that, that is why one of the main things that I do with Real Estate Bestie, with our coaching students, is we spend a lot of time role playing, okay? And I always say role play is like your opportunity to not practice on real people, but to start thinking through not only the common objections that most buyers and sellers have, because the same old stuff comes up time and time again. But it's more than knowing what you should say, but understanding different personality types and how you are going to communicate that. And in today's episode, I'm really, really pumped because you're going to be able to see role play in action. Two of our besties, Jessica and Stephanie, have stepped up to the plate and they are going to role play a scenario so that you can hear not only how they are having the conversation, but they've also allowed me to coach them through it to see exactly how a few minor tweaks can make a huge difference. Now, trust me, this is an episode that you want to have all ears open for. And go ahead and share it with your real life real estate bestie because we don't want her out here flubbing deals too because she's not communicating effectively. So check out this episode. It's definitely one of my favorites. Okay, besties, today our scenario is going to be Stephanie, you will be the real estate agent and you're going to be following up on an old open house lead because you know how we don't always follow up with open house leads like we're supposed to. Pretend that you met Jessica. She was the next door neighbor of a listing that you were holding open. And when you met her, y'all were chummy. She expressed to you that at the end of this year, when her son was a senior, they wanted to put their house on the market. And you have been calling and following up with her for a few months, never got on the phone. She might like your message or something like that. And today she finally picks up the phone. So we're going to have that conversation. Sound good?
Okay. Okay.
Jess, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Jess, how are you? This is Stephanie.
Stephanie, who?
We met at the open house of your next door neighbor, Sheila, when she sold it. I was her realtor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Okay, well, I was following up with you. I know that when we were talking at the open house, that you were talking about selling your home and getting ready to downsize when your son Johnny graduates this year.
Well, first of all, his name is not Johnny. His name is Ace. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, girl, I'm really like in the middle of trying to get my dinner cooked and everything. Can we kind of hurry this up a little bit? Like, can you get to the point? Like, what are you calling me about?
Okay, listen, no problem. I totally get it, girl. I am just calling to check in with you and then also to let you know that I can drop you off a home equity report, which is just a report of your neighborhood and what it looks like to sell right now. That way, you guys are educated and familiar on what the market looks like when you get ready to put your home on the market.
So, do you know like what houses are selling for in this neighborhood right now? Because I mean, we're thinking about it, but I don't know if we want to do it this year. We might wait another year because these interest rates and everything are just ridiculous. And where we gonna go? I mean, for real, where we gonna go?
Well, look, that's what I'm here for, Jess. And so, yes, I can definitely send you over a report that shows you what the houses are selling for in your market. And then we can follow up with the report and we can sit down and have a discussion over what you and your husband are really looking for to do. And then, as far as next steps, I can walk your house and then give you a more accurate number of what it would look like for you to sell.
So Stephanie, I mean, really, I don't think that the house will sit long. Like, I really feel like it'll sell fast because I mean, we really kept our house up, like really clean and everything, and like we've done renovations and stuff. But the real issue is like, where are we gonna go right now? Like, I feel like I've heard there's not a lot of inventory on the ground. So what we gonna do about that? Like, girl, I'm gonna be homeless. So I mean, where am I going if I sell my house?
You would definitely not be homeless. What area do you want to be in? Let's start there.
I mean, I want to be in Prosper.
Okay. Well, Prosper has a lot of new construction in that area. What we will do is I can also send you over some lender information. You do not have to use the lender information, but just like we want to know what the market looks like for your home, we want to know your purchasing power before we go out. That way we can make sure that we're making the best financial decision for your family.
Okay. Well, I do have this cousin that is a realtor too, so I don't know, I may reach out to her and see what she's talking about also because, kind of like family first, but I mean, I like what you're saying, but I may have to check with her and see what she's talking about.
Listen, most definitely, Jess. This is a big transition for your family, and I highly recommend that you interview your realtors. And I would love for the chance to interview with you.
Well, I'll talk to my husband and see. I'll get back with you, girl, but I gotta go because my chicken is burning, honey. I gotta go.
Oh my goodness. Take care of your chicken. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, Jessica coming with the heat, with the attitude. Uh, Stephanie, let's talk about it. How did that feel for you?
Oh, when she told me her son name was not Johnny and it was Ace, I was like, okay, because that's one thing that I know I'm particular about at open houses. Like when they leave, I write down their kids' names. That way I won't forget it. And when she said Ace, I said, okay, this is gonna be this
Yeah,
call.
she played you. She played you for the
She
video.
played
She
me.
that was to throw you off. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
but she came. I love the way Jess came because that's how people really do come. Like they be busy, and so she made me like really assess like her personality at that particular point. And what I got from her was like rush. So she did not want the long drawn spiel. She needed the bullet points, and
Yep.
that's what I tried to give her, just the bullet points.
What about like she hit you with some pretty aggressive objections? How did it feel when she was rolling those objections out to you?
When she was rolling the objections out, I was like, at first I was like, oh my goodness. But like inside, you got to stay calm because you can't get like overexcited or whatever. But it was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna be her realtor, she want me to answer, like solve her problems in real estate. So how am I gonna solve this problem? So it felt like I had to think fast on my toes a little bit. But it was like, especially when she said like the cousin part, being a
Mm-hmm.
realtor, and I had to like it for like 2.5 seconds. I got in my feelings like cousin, like hold on, girl.
Yeah,
I've been calling you, but I was like, no, interviewer. Like you want to, because at the end of the day, you want your client to feel like you're not like selling them, but like you're trying to, like they're not just another transaction. And that's what I was trying to push through. Like you're not just gonna be a transaction, but if you want to, definitely, because you need to do what's best for you.
perfect. Jess, what about you? How did that feel for you?
I feel like Stephanie was matching my energy as far as my pace and all of that. Like she was answering my questions pretty quickly because, honey, my chicken was burning. I needed to hurry up and get to, what was happening with my family and my food. But she did a really good job with trying to basically keeping up and finding a solution for my objection. So I did like that she
Mhm.
wasn't like super pushy, like, well, your cousin don't know what she's talking about. Like, you don't know, like, I know better because I sell in this neighborhood all the time. Like, she really was very neutral, but she also wanted the opportunity to win my business, and I really like that.
Yeah, yeah. Stephanie, that would be the same feedback that I would give you is number one, you quickly adjusted your style to adjust what Jess gave us, right? Because we know that that personality it was different from who you normally are, Jessica. So you may have had something in your mind, but not only did you adjust and your pacing went up, but you did not sound frazzled to me,
Correct.
right? And I know that there have been times, since we've been coaching together, that there was a moment that those curveballs and that level of aggression, it's different from your national personality type. There was a time where you may have felt a little bit more frazzled, or it would have come off a little bit more frazzled. But I was over here like Mama Bear, like, yay, because I could see like you still were calm
Yeah.
throughout each objection. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what do you think has been the transition from the way you would have handled that previously to the way you handled it now?
I think the two biggest things is one, practice, going over the objections. And that way, like, even though she threw me the curveball, I already practiced the curveballs. So I already knew, like, if I had it in my toolkit.
Yep.
And then I think the second thing is, like, not taking it personal.
Mm,
Like, I don't like for me in my personality, I am a people pleaser. I try to do everything perfect, but it's not about me right now. It's about Jess and her family and trying to get them into their next house.
yeah, I love that. And besties that are, if you're listening to this episode on podcast or watching on YouTube, what Stephanie is describing is in our accelerator coaching, we do role playing once per week. And we like this is one of the things we hyper focus on is a lot of times you hear they got a cousin, where they gonna go, what the rates are. So when you are thinking through those objections and how you would handle it and how you would pivot based on personality, you're going to be better equipped in the moment, right? So those are things that I thought you did really good, and like you immediately went into what the value was. So those are the areas where I think you shine. A few areas of opportunity of things that I just want you to think about and tweaking. One is I might have just said, "Oh my goodness," I wrote down his name is Johnny. You are right. It is Ace, ACE. How is that going? And honestly, in the beginning, you started off with, "Hey, I met you at the open house. Your son was going to graduate. Are you still thinking of selling?" Can we just be in rapport? "Hey, I met you at the open house. I know that you mentioned you had a senior this year. How's everything going with your son?" Right.
Mm.
And then giving her, because if we go straight into the, the sale, it may, she may have been a little bit disarmed by talking about her boy first. And then, "Oh, hell, that's awesome. Senior year, so many exciting moments." And when we were there, I know you mentioned that when he did graduate, that you all would consider getting your house on the market. I wanted to check in, and my check-in might be first to give you some feedback on actually what happened with your neighbor next door, because you can tell, give her, that may be her closest comp or whatever, but having a little bit more of that report. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing that I would say to tweak is she asked you where she would go a couple of times, right? So I'm still not clear based on this conversation, other than she's going to be an empty nester. Why does she want to move? Does she want something bigger? Does she want something smaller and prosper? Is she looking for a 3 bedroom? Is she looking for, have you started looking at homes? So there could have been an opportunity there. The more that we get a client talking or a potential client talking, the more that it's crazy. The more they talk about themselves, they actually begin to develop more trust in us and our process. So talking to her a little bit more about what she was looking for and then presenting a solution. "Oh, you're looking for 3 bedrooms? You know what? I was just visiting a builder the other day, and they actually have 17 inventory homes, and there is a lot of opportunity for buyers," right? "Have you spoken with the lenders to get an idea of your purchasing power?" Right? So giving her a little bit of information based off of what she was saying to you.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it again. But guess what? Jessica, this time you the realtor.
Oh,
Just try me out of it. We're gonna do just a quick version of it. Just you're the realtor, same scenario, and Stephanie, you are the potential seller. And don't give her the same personality and exact same energy you gave her. Okay, but let's just try it again. Okay.
All right.
ring ring.
Hey,
Hi, Stephanie. How you doing today, girl?
I'm good. Who's this?
So this is Jessica with Design Realty Solutions. We met at an open house last year, and we had kind of been texting back and forth throughout the year. And you told me that you were thinking about making a move. But girl, I wanted to just check in on you and see how you were doing.
I'm okay. You said we met at an open house. Like, I've been to a couple of them, so
Yeah,
I'm
right
not quite
there,
sure.
right down the street in your neighborhood.
Oh, okay. At Susie's house, maybe?
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly
Okay.
right.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I noticed that your son is graduating and y'all had senior night recently.
How do you know that?
Oh my goodness, girl, follow you on Facebook and I was just noticing that you are having some fun times and your son is getting ready to go off to college. That is so amazing. Oh my goodness. How are you feeling? How is your heart?
I'm okay. It's just that, you know, he's leaving. So there's that. Try not to cry about it because that's what they're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. Well, I just wanted to check in and also I wanted to know if you could let me know if you're still interested in maybe downsizing.
Well, honestly, Jess, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, obviously this house is going to be too big for us, but at the same time it's like, how do we sell one house, buy another? Do we got to stay like in a hotel or get a rental in between? Where like we still got to figure out when my son is going to go off and get him situated down at school. It's just so many moving pieces right now. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to make another decision right now.
I totally, totally get it. Listen, Stephanie, I would love to have the opportunity to send over a market equity report to see what houses are selling for in your area to give you a better idea of what you could possibly get for your home. But then also, we can have a further conversation about what houses may be in the area if you want to be in this area. Do you want to be in this area if you were to move, or do you want to go to a different area?
Well, I think we want to move closer to my husband's parents, but I don't want to live over there by them that close. So somewhere probably in between, probably like Allen or McKinney.
Okay, y'all,
Okay.
let's stop there. Let's stop there. Good job. Okay, so something else, besties, in our coaching program, we don't always go through the entire phone call so that we can just give feedback and just assess kind of where we are. So first, we're going to start with you, Jessica. You were the agent this time. You got some of that energy back. So how was that?
It was good. I mean, I didn't feel threatened or anything like that. I mean, I felt like it was moving a little bit slower. So I felt like I needed to kind of slow down. I felt like my brain was moving a little bit faster than what she was talking. So I had to kind of slow myself down. That felt a little weird, but I was trying to match where she was, match her energy.
Stephanie, how did that feel for you?
I have to agree with Jessica. Like knowing Jessica and like how she has this big personality, that's why I was like, let me just be real. Like I was thinking like Eeyore's like vibes, right? And I did see her try so hard to slow down. And sometimes she did speed up some, but I did feel her try to slow down and kind of like pace herself through the conversation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And one thing that we have talked about is like being aware of what it feels like for somebody to experience you as the realtor. And, like Stephanie, your character was a downer, right? But even as a downer, we don't like, it don't matter how we experience you, we have to bring the experience. So, Jess, I did notice it's really hard for us people who are extra introverts, high energy, because we just kind of think that everyone's going to vibe with that bubbliness. And they don't always, right? Because she was almost kind of like, what? Like, huh? And so not only was she moving slow, but she was a little bit confused. So I do appreciate that I could hear you struggling, but slowing down. Not struggling because it was hard, but struggling because it was so opposite of you. And us high energy people, we have like, just like an introvert has to work to go get up to the energy of an extrovert. Extroverts, sometimes I think we just take for granted that everyone's gonna meet us where we are, and that's not it, right? So you did a really good job of just working towards that and working to establish some rapport. The thing that I want to arrow in on, and as it relates to feedback, is I love that you said you felt like your brain was moving faster than the conversation was. And I am a million percent guilty of this because because you are moving at a faster pace. Sometimes we don't zero in on the opportunity to actually answer the question that was asked because
Mhm.
I've already moved past what you're saying. So she
Mhm.
really expressed like a lot of uncertainty. It makes me think that she's more of like an S personality. She's like, where are we gonna go? The trouble of moving. And you was like, oh yeah, well, I can see your home equity report and I can come over there and we can look at some stuff, right? So there was an opportunity there to empathize. Like, you know what? And you used your own personal experience. Just do you have any children who are high school age or have been high school age?
Yes, I do have some high school age kids.
Okay. So this is an opportunity to be like, you know what, Stephanie, I completely understand all the mama things that you're going through. My daughter is blank age, or next year I'm gearing up for the same thing. I'm gonna have to call you to get some advice, because it's weird, right? You want to see them leave the nest, but you also want to keep them near. So just there was like, you could tell that she was struggling with this life change. And I'm not telling you to be her therapist, but where can you pull some commonality, right? Or like, let's just say you didn't have high school kids. There might be a bestie listening, like, I don't have high school kids. Can you relate? Oh, when I went away to school, I remember like it just being a different level of transition from my mom. I know you're gonna make the best of it. Like, you make all the memories, right? And even when she talked about y'all being Facebook friends, you don't want to come off and say stalker, like you're like feeling like you're a stalker, but
Yeah,
like, you know what?
that
I
part
don't know
you
if you
did feel like a stalker.
yeah, so you can clean it up like, oh no, remember, I don't know if you remember, but when we met last year, we friended each other on Facebook, and I've been keeping up a little bit with you and your son. So it's really cool to see some of the cool stuff that he's done, right? So you don't want to make it like, girl, I've been looking at you on Facebook, you know. So like, oh no, after I met you, you probably so busy. We friended each other, and I've had an opportunity to just take a peek and see what you've been doing. Okay.
Got it.
And then the last thing is like, respond to her questions. She expressed like, where am I gonna go? Like, so before home equity report, like, listen, when the time is right, like I would literally say, I don't ever want you to feel rushed or overwhelmed. I just know that when I met you, you have a lot of life change going on, and this is something that was a goal in the back of your mind. And when the time is right, I would love to just sit and talk to you about it, right? This is one thing that I specialize in. Whatever their problem is, I specialize in, right?
Right.
If their problem is, where am I going to, I specialize in helping people relocate, or I specialize in first time home buyers. Like, this is one thing I specialize in. I specialize in helping people sell, that special home that they have raised their kids in, and finding the home that best suits them next. And that's one of the reasons that I called you, because I know it can feel overwhelming, which is why it's so important to have somebody you trust guiding you throughout the process. And I definitely, just like I helped your neighbor Sheila down the street, it will be my honor to help you when you're ready. Zero pressure, right? So just listening to what she's saying so that we can respond to those cues to make connections, because Stephanie was pretty disconnected.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Y'all are good. Any questions about that? Any aha moments that you're going to take back into your current conversations?
There's one thing I forgot to say. Just I could tell that you were smiling while you were talking to me.
Yep. That's a big one. Yeah. When you're making phone calls, smile, because we can hear a smile for sure.
I definitely took away some aha moments here. I love how Rosemary said that I specialize in whatever the needs
Mm-hmm.
are. Because legit, we really do, if it has to do with, real estate. I mean, we really do, especially if we've been doing it for a little while. And so I love how she said that, like she's adapting to whatever the needs are, or she's taking the cues from the prospective client. Like if they're feeling a little uncertain, then okay, well, we're going to make sure that they feel more certain. I love how you kind of had that assurance. So that was really good to me. And then even though she felt disconnected, I loved how you were saying, try to find the commonality, pull from the commonality, and try to find something that you can connect with her on so that you can build that know, like, and trust factor. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of slowing down and really answering the question instead of like my brain is moving 10 miles ahead and I'm moved on to the next thing. So, yeah.
Y'all are amazing. No, that's good. That's good. Hey, and this is why we practice. This is why we practice, besties. Y'all did a really good job, and I appreciate you. And I know that all of the besties listening and watching, they appreciate y'all just being brave, because role playing. Look, you role play in front of thousands of besties that will watch this, right? So I just want to say I appreciate y'all so much. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Too.
Bestie, wasn't that wonderful? Shout out to Jessica and Stephanie for not only being willing to do role play live, right? That can be a lot of nerves just to do it with one other person, let alone having thousands of besties listen to it, but also being so coachable. And I'm telling you, like, their craft, they have improved, and they just continue to improve. Even since we recorded that video, both of them, Stephanie just got a listing appointment because she was able to handle some objections, and Jess is killing killing it as well. So kudos to them. Now, it's something that we do all the time in our accelerator coaching program. And you may be on the fence about coaching, and I don't blame you. Okay. There are a lot of things that I want to do, but I'm not sure exactly how it looks. So we wanted to give you a little snippet of what our role play sessions look like. But if you actually want to go deeper, we are actually having our sneak peek week, April 21st through the 24th. Now, let me tell you what sneak peek is. During 1 week, we literally pack in as much as we can so that you can have a real life look of what we do in accelerator coaching. So I'm talking, you're going to have access to our Voxer platform, which is where we communicate back and forth every single day. You will have the direct coaching session with myself. You'll be able to do a Q&A with the besties that have been in coaching to get their real life feedback, right? Because I can tell you what I think about it, but I want you to hear exactly how they've taken the information that we do and the processes in coaching to actually not only win in business, but in life. We're going to have Bible study that week. I'm telling you, it's just going to be a really, really good glimpse to help you see exactly what accelerator coaching looks like. So exactly where you are listening to this podcast or watching the YouTube video, the link to register is going to be in the description box, or you can go to rosemarylewis.com/sneak peek. For just a few pennies, honestly, you're going to get so much value. And even if you decide long-term coaching isn't for you yet, I guarantee you that what you're going to learn in that week, the role plays that we're going to do, the connections that are going to be had, it will definitely help you in your real estate business. And I would love to hang out with you for a week. So it's April 21st through the 24th. Sneak peek week is going down, rosemarylewis.com/sneak peek. And I will talk to you soon, besties. Have a good one. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button, because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.